What up, everyone? It's Joe Soro with the Lakers Fast Break post game for the Lakers, the LA Lakers, and the Memphis Grizzlies. So, Lakers come up with, I would say, an entertaining game, to put it lightly. Entertaining, nonetheless, a win. Lakers are still unbeaten at home. Lakers win 128 to 123 over the Memphis Grizzlies. Anthony Davis was in foul trouble most of the game, but came up pretty big towards the end there with his rebounding, his free throw shooting, and of course his 3-point shots. LeBron continuingly to making me look bad in my top 5 picks. At this point, if he continues to do what he's doing, I'm going to have to probably take Larry Bird off top 5 and put LeBron in place, but haven't decided yet on 100% on that. I'm going to need a little bit longer for that. But LeBron had a pretty phenomenal line. He had 35 points, 14 assists, and 12 rebounds. Another triple-double. I think that's his third in a row. Played 37 minutes. Still kind of too much, but I guess if we didn't have him, there'd be no shot, right? Surprise of the night, though, was Dalton Connect. Dalton Connect drops 19 points, hit 7 of 8 from the field, and hit all 5 of his 3-point shots. And he played considerable minutes. We're talking 31 minutes. I think that might be a game high for the year. I'd have to check the stats if anybody knows that. But Lakers win. Again, entertaining, and the Lakers win is I guess in the end is what it's about, right? I mean, why are we watching basketball in November if it's not going to be entertaining? And if it's a win, winning is winning. You got to enjoy it. So I have a couple of assessments on kind of the ebb and flow of the game. I think the Lakers came out initially pretty confident. They were ahead, consistently around that 8-10 mark. And then all of a sudden, towards the end of the second quarter, before the half, the lead evaporated. And I didn't, you're literally watching the game, at least I was. And then all of a sudden, it's like a 3-point game. And then Memphis ended up taking the lead going into the half. And then the third quarter wasn't looking good either. It just looked like one of those games where I'm like, are they really going to lose this? And then the end of the third quarter hits, and the score was what it was. And then the Lakers went ahead. I think they were down by 5 going into the fourth. And then, of course, they kind of got their act together. They were playing even ball the first 6 minutes, and then they started separating at the 5-minute mark, and then eventually ended up getting a good lead off of some really, really, really clutch shots, clutch passing from AD and LeBron. And of course, Connect might have been the spark that helped the Lakers get through that little rut before the two studs finished it off. So props to LeBron, props to AD, props to Connect. AR played some good basketball too. Rui played good basketball tonight. Rui had 19 points, made all the shots except for one. Everyone did their job. Even Cam Reddish, to a degree, even though he didn't have a good scoring night, he was playing pretty good defense at the beginning. Unfortunately, it got worse as the game went on. No congratulatory claps for one guy. I mean, I guess you could pick 2 if you want to put D'Lo in there, but at this point, I'm not going to talk about D'Lo. But Jesus Christ, can someone wake up Gabe Vincent? Gabe Vincent played 13 minutes, missed every shot from everywhere. And how many times is he going to get a 0? I don't know if you guys remember from early, or I should say about a decade and change ago. You remember Steve Blake? Well, there was a nickname for him. They called him Bagel. We called him Bagel because he would get these zeros during the game. And he was a pretty feisty player. He was a pretty good player. But for some reason, he'd get donuts. And Gabe Vincent is making, you might as well go open a Dunkin' Donuts at this point, Gabe. What the hell is your use? How can you not make a shot at least once during a 48-minute game? Those 2 shots might help get out of the rut that the Lakers get themselves in sometimes in these games. But this guy can't make a shot. I don't know what's going on with his confidence. He's got to go see somebody, man. Go see a psychiatrist. Go talk to Ron Artest or Meta World Peace or whatever the hell he calls himself now. Go talk to his shrink to get yourself back to at least playing with some kind of confidence, man. It's really, really bad. You need to fix yourself there, Gabe. I don't know what's going on. You shouldn't be missing these kind of shots. You have AD and LeBron on your team. You're going to get open shots. You need to make some of these a little bit. Give us a break. I won't go into the details again with D'Lo. Yeah, I just feel like it's Groundhog's Day with D'Lo. I don't know what else to say. He had a couple of good, I guess, shots, a couple of good plays during the game, but again, it's never enough. John, what about our defensive intensity, Joe? There is more to scoring. Yeah, John, that is true. The only problem, John, tonight is this was in a lot of ways Memphis's B team. Desmond Bane wasn't there. John Morant wasn't there. So if this was a John Morant led with Desmond Bane's backcourt and they played defense like this, I'd say, okay, I'll buy into that, especially towards the end of the game. But it's not a good look. It's not a good look that you're playing a team that's probably shouldn't be playing this tight with you, and they did. If it was in January, I would have said, okay, maybe they were tired or whatever, but it's too early in the year to be losing or to have to work this hard. At least your guys, your main guys like LeBron, have to work this hard to win these kind of games. Welcome, my friend. So John was asking a question for us, and now we have our own John here. So, John, your assessment of the game was pretty clear, and I was kind of in tune with it when you said it. Tonight's game, while positive with the win and while entertaining, it's probably not good for the long haul, especially for someone like LeBron. LeBron played 37 minutes tonight. AD didn't play a lot of minutes because he was in foul trouble, and sometimes that's a benefit because of the required rest before you can, feel comfortable to play with 5 fouls. But in this situation, it ended up working out, and I'm glad about that. But what did you think about Dalton Connect? Do you think that this might be something that can continue the rest of the year?
I do. I absolutely do, Joe. It's all depending on how much reps JJ Redick's going to give him. Uh, us geniuses here on Lakers Fast Break, me, you, Stone, Gerald, all of us, we've all been saying he's a rhythm player. He needs he needs the chances he needs the opportunity. He needs the shots, and I don't think that JJ Redick necessarily was giving him all those looks and all that offense early in the season. But I do hope that this is one of those games that wakes JJ Redick up and he's like, all right, you know what, whatever little hating streak I was on, let me put that to the side, because if we could just really run some plays for Dalton Connect just to get him some easy buckets, like every game, just some simple pin downs, just um, some elevator screens, whatever, just simple stuff to draw it up. Um, but yeah, that's what I think about Dalton Connect. What about you, Joe?
Well, the question from the crowd here is, was it worse that Rob didn't get any acquisitions this year to help this team, or was it worse letting go of guys like Huff and Scottie Pippen Jr.? Folks, tonight you realize why Scottie Pippen Jr. and guys like Jay Huff are not prime time or even rotational type guys that are going to be consistent. It's too many. There's just too many deficiencies there. You saw Scottie Pippen Jr. get to the basket twice towards the end when they really needed a basket, and he whiffed. That's NBA basketball at its peak. You have to make plays when it matters. That's why stars are so integral to winning championships. You look at the history of championships. It's extremely rare when a team wins a championship without all-world players on it. It's very, very rare. And even some people can interpret all-world players, like, let's say Chauncey Billups was considered an all-world player. I don't. Ben Wallace was considered an all-world player because he was such a good defender. I don't look at those guys as all-world players. They were just very, very good, and they had a group of very, very good players in 04 when they beat the Lakers, and they had the perfect week to win. Sometimes the Super Bowl III happens, right? The Jets beating heavily favored Baltimore Colts team or the Giants beating 18-0 Patriots team. That stuff happens sometimes, and sometimes it's against the rule. It becomes the exception. So tonight there was no exception. Scottie Pippen Jr., guys like Jay Huff, those guys are not going to be able to perform the way you think, and especially in a climate like LA. See, it's easy to. I'm not trying to downgrade Scotty or Jay. They put in the work. Good for them. I hope they stay in the league for a long time. But the pressure in Memphis is completely different than it is in LA, and it is what it is. So there's not everybody's made to deal with the pressure. Now, let's talk about our rookie, Mr. Dalton Connect, a little bit, because I do want to talk about this. The reason why he, in terms of mentioning the rhythm, the reason why he played well tonight is because what happened during the time when he started getting hot? I'll tell you what happened. LeBron and AD sat. Now, that's a rarity this year. Usually you want to keep one of those guys in there. But because AD was in foul trouble, you had no choice, and you had to rest LeBron because LeBron was putting in the work. So what happened? Now, Dalton, in a weird way, becomes the primary shooter or scorer in that time where LeBron and AD are sitting. And what happens? He starts making shots because now he's thinking, okay, I'm the man now. Let's drop the hammer. He's not worried about, oh, am I getting in the way of LeBron's offensive setup? Am I getting in the way of the spacing? Am I worried about AD not getting the ball? Like, he's not thinking at that point. And all of a sudden, what happens? He goes unconscious, and he just kept hitting shots.
That's a great point, Joe. Oh my gosh!
Yeah,
So it's a great point.
We were talking about this on playback. Basketball, believe it or not, is not a complicated game. Phil Jackson said this, and he said this in a weird sequence after all the stuff that we saw him do in his career. This was after he had won his 11th championship. So I remember I think it was Jimmy Jackson Jimmy Jackson was a very, very good player back in the day, and he played a season with the Lakers, and they acquired him. And they were talking about, oh, is Jimmy Jackson going to be able to, catch the triangle offense quick enough to kind of make a difference here and there? And Phil said, well, look, it's basketball at the end of the day. He kept it simple, right? It's like, it's basketball. These guys have been playing basketball since they were 8. They're all, once you get to the NBA, you're playing elite basketball. No matter how good you are, how bad you are, you're still in that world. So it's not that hard, folks. Basketball players, much like wide receivers in the NFL, if you get them the ball and they know they're getting the ball, their enthusiasm goes up, the confidence goes up. So I hope, if there's anything to learn from this game tonight, besides the fact that the Lakers have no business taking anyone lightly. They're always going to be teetering between disaster because of the lack of depth they have. But if you're going to learn anything from tonight, learn that maybe we might need to see Connect get drawn some plays and really get him going to see if this is something that can be a habit. That's how I can look at it. At least that's what I'm looking at. So what do you think, Sonny? You think that's
yes?
You think that's realistic, or is it just one of those games where he got hot and you just rolled with it, and then the next game he's going to score 3 points? Because it's a big possibility that's probably going to happen too.
I mean, it was like I said. I think it's really solely up to JJ. Like, if JJ decides to be stubborn and go back to offense that doesn't involve him, then hey, it won't happen. But if JJ runs that offense for him and just, simple things, and it's like how you said, Joe, if we can just do this when LeBron and AD are off the court, there he is.
Oh, food coma from the Wind Buffet.
If we can just get this man going, and JJ Redick, if he can give him some rhythm, man, I think he could add a good sauce to our team. One thing I will say is if we get him going, he'll probably be our best bench player. I mean, unless D'Lo keeps hooping.
Dude, D'Lo is
unlike tonight.
D'Lo is so terrible, and the only reason why he's not worse is because Gabe Vincent is making him look like a little bit more or less terrible. But I'm not going to talk about D'Lo. I don't want to ruin the
Dalton
mode.
Connect, baby. Dalton Connect. Where's Rodell? Where is Rodell? That's what I want to know.
Dalton can be the white Lou Will. What say you?
It was good. Yeah, I'll tell you what.
JY, was that a dyslexic typing thing going on there? Will, what you suit? I can't even read it. Will, what say you?
Sounds like me. I'm really bad at reading.
Dalton could be the white Lou Will. What say you? So I don't know. Maybe he'll go to.
Why does he have to be the white Lou Will? Lou Will, by the way, was tiny. Dalton Connect is 6'4".
But where is Rodell? Where is Rodell for
Rodell
months
is
and
here.
months and months and months? All I heard was, "Oh, why are you talking about Rodell? Why are you talking about Dalton Connect? Why are you talking
Because
about
he's white.
Dalton?" Yeah, because he's white. So I'm like, John was talking about Dalton Connect and how Max Christie
Power
was
to
a
the people.
disappointment. Funny, he has a different ethnic background than me. But again, we won't go into that. We'll just say this is why we had so much high hopes about Dalton Connect, Joe and John. This is why we thought so highly.
Hold on.
Just for this type of game.
We're not stupid, okay? We watch college basketball sometimes. Part of the job, I know it's not a high-paying job now, but part of the job of running a basketball podcast and your team is going to draft people is knowing what's coming. It's not if you didn't see Dalton Connect's talent he was an SEC Player of the Year. I mean that kind of resonates a little bit. Someone who can shoot, especially in a league where you need shooters, a guy that was that wide and that the ability to get vertical on his shots, these little things that you look at in terms of NBA prowess. He had that. He's not slow. He can get up a little bit from the floor. Okay, so you got a guy who's seasoned, who is winning awards in pretty good conferences, playing for a pretty good team. And then when you factor in his game, according to what talent is on the team, how the hell did you not think this guy was going to have something there? The only reason why he would not have succeeded is if he went to a complete mental breakdown, which happens. But you don't ever really say, you don't see that until it happens. You can't assume, oh, well, he's going to come to the NBA, he's going to suck. No one ever assumes that. I think that's happened to JHS too, by the way. JHS was the wrong pick, wrong talent, overrated as in terms of his comps as you can be. But I think a lot of him really falling down to the dumps is the mental thing really hit him with all the negativity around him too. It didn't help. So, but Dalton has an attitude. Hell, he almost got into a fight tonight.
I saw that.
So Dalton is not one of those guys that's soft. He seems like a guy that's pretty confident. And my comp for him is, I see him. His game is so eerily similar to Bogdan Bogdanovic. If he becomes one of him, this is a top 5 pick when you come back to this draft. So Gerald, can you talk enough with your coma to tell us what you saw?
I saw crab legs, filet mignon. I saw, what did else I see? Wagyu beef, lobster claws, lobster bisque, street tacos.
Gerald Rodell said,
the game. Yeah,
you
did say. Yes, you did, Rodell. I have all on email. We have it all on email. All right there on email.
Gerald.
Yeah, I love how he goes back. He's doubling back. He realizes he was wrong, and he doubles back. Oh my gosh!
accountable, Gerald.
Yeah.
So I'm talking
We
about.
have
I would
all
yell,
on
but I
email
got my
what you
baby girl,
said.
another girl sleep, in the other
Yeah.
room sleeping.
Yes.
Let them know, Gerald.
Okay. Who scored today? Who hit? What was it? 5 of 5 from 3 overall. I think was it
Mhm.
at one time.
Yeah,
Who
BC at
was
5
that?
of 5. Yeah,
Yeah.
and
And
they weren't just like straight net, bare, not even touching the rim
plus
shots.
17,
There
19
was
points.
there was a sequence where he jumped and he was shooting, and in a millisecond changed his mind. I can't remember who he passed it to. Then moved to the right edge, got the ball all in one motion, shot nothing but net. That play has to be in the top 10 on ESPN tonight. That play that is not a play that a normal rotational player makes. That is what superstars make. I'm not saying he's going to be a superstar. I'm just saying that play was superstar skill set.
And there's no guessing that, at 21, there's still a possibility Max has plenty of time to become a rotational player in this league. I said that before.
Hold on.
What you, Sean,
All right.
and Stone don't even think he's an NBA player. So who was the one scoring 19 points today, and who was the one DNP CD? But yet all we heard for weeks on end was Rodell sending us email how we were wrong and he was right. And we just said, well, just keep watching the games, keep understanding. Yes, he did get off to a slow start, but I kept telling people, you have to get a shooter like that in rhythm. You have to get him reps. When he's out there with LeBron or AD or with the big guys, he needs to get touches consistently. He can't just give him like 1 minute of touches and then, the other 7 or 8 minutes he's in the game, you just leave him cold. You have to get him consistent touches, Joe, because this is exactly why you do that. This is what can happen. He is that good of a shooter if you allow him to get that point, Joe. It's just the thing is, he has an ability Max does not, as far as being an elite shooter in this league. He can get to that point, Joe, and you saw a little bit of that tonight, John, as well.
Well, Rob is going to have to do something here in about a month.
Oh, he's busy at the Duke Kentucky game. Watching that.
He's going to need to do something because D'Lo and Gabe need to go. And there's a benefit in acquiring those two players from another team.
Getting rid of Gabe is hard. What is the hard one because there's an extra year on his contract.
Yes, but there's also where that could play into the Lakers' hands is if the other team has a contract, a large contract that they don't want to deal with, that maybe is a year longer than Gabe's. We're gonna have to do a deep dive on this because we're always stuck on the Portland thing or the Chicago thing. I've obviously been talking about a deal maybe with Atlanta. That might be probably the closest thing. But are you? I don't. We got to really look into
Utah
this.
because Jordan Clarkson and also Walker Kessler's name.
I don't want to mention Utah because when you talk about Utah, you have to deal with Danny Ainge, and when you talk about Toronto, you have to deal with Masai, which are two big, giant nut sacks in this league that you have to deal with. And at some point, the fact that all those guys think about is winning a trade, it aggravates me. It's like, dude, can you just do a freaking trade that makes sense for everyone and be normal instead of having to do thinking you're going to do a Gobert trade on every goddamn transaction, but they won't. So I'm not even going to think about Toronto or Utah. There's got to be something that gets figured out here. And I'm going to look into this here this week because we can start talking about it here within the next month a little bit, maybe get things prepared, where the Lakers got to get rid of D'Lo and they got to get rid of Gabe Vincent for some damn perimeter player that can actually benefit somewhere. I mean, Gabe Vincent is horrid. And D'Lo is that missed layup from LeBron. I mean, dude.
Sorry, John.
You've been in the league for almost 10 years, right? It's his 10th season, isn't it?
Yeah.
How the hell can you not make a layup? If you're worried about the shot being blocked, all your dumbass had to do was shoot. You had all the momentum. Just lay it up with your right hand. The rim would have blocked it. He wouldn't have done anything, and he missed it. And then LeBron had to go in there and try and get a rebound because he has to do everything, and he missed a chippy, and he's like, I'm like, dude, what do you do? What does he do all day? How do you play in the NBA for 10 years, and be able to be, you were an all-star. How are you not able to make a layup with your offhand at this point in your career? And
Kurt, you're just so wrong. You're wrong, Kurt.
Kurt's wilding right now. Kurt's, I'm gonna dye my hair blonde. No, it's wild.
What the hell is
It's
going
wild.
He said John's going to dye his hair blonde in solidarity for D'Lo, being he's the president of the D'Lo fan club.
I don't.
So,
Did you make that up, John? Or
I did not
somebody
make that up.
Thrust that on you.
I did.
Gerald
I
and Crown
That
that
is
on me.
Yeah. You should have denied that the second you heard it.
But you know what?
President of the D'Angelo
He was-
Russell fan club.
Okay, last year he was really on the D'Lo freight train.
But hold on though. Oh man, see that you guys give me messed up because I just give him his credit, right? Because
But I do it out of love. I do it out of love, John, and respect. for
yes,
you.
no, absolutely, no, and I love that. I love that. But what I talk about with D'Angelo Russell a lot, and that's something I was going to say to you, Joe, is as far as like, yes, I think trading him and getting a player that can provide us something on the perimeter, defensive end would be great. Somebody that can give us shooting on the offensive end would be great. But it is just the fact of, and I say this all the time when I talk about this, if we get rid of D'Angelo Russell, we have no other true playmakers unless we're getting rid of him and bringing in another playmaking player who's at that guard position, which is why, and I know with him being injured now, it's going to sound like a bad take, which is why I was so all in for that DeJounte Murray trade, because that DeJounte Murray trade would have gave us not only a guard that can play make and can allow LeBron to be off the ball, because when LeBron's, besides D'Lo on this team, it's LeBron and D'Lo. Those are the two people that I'm comfortable bringing the ball up court and playmaking for others, getting easy buckets for AD, which we know he needs, right? And if we get rid of D'Lo, then that means that we have nobody else but LeBron. And come playoffs, I want LeBron bringing the ball up court every time, making decisions. But he's 40. He cannot do this for this 82-game season and then into postseason. So, which is why I say, if we get rid of D'Lo, all we need is just a good playmaking guard who can fill in his role, and preferably one that could, play a little bit of defense. And I also shit on D'Lo when he needs to be shitted on. Please do not.
I'm
I
done.
know you do.
I'm done with D'Lo. Even if he starts balling.
Well, the thing is with D'Lo, he and JHS have the expiring contracts, the two largest expiring contracts. So you put those together, that'll get you to about what, 22 million, I think, off the top of my head. So that's, Joe, that's probably, if I'm on the other end of it, asking, okay, what are you guys going to trade me and offer me? Gabe Vincent does nothing for me because there's another year on his contract. And if the guy can't hit the broadside of a barn like tonight, why would you want him? At this point, you would probably JHS and D'Lo.
You're not acquiring Gabe Vincent because you're worried about paying him another year. You're acquiring Gabe Vincent and D'Lo because you need to get rid of contracts that you don't want, or a big contract.
Yeah, but then if it's a big contract,
you're talking about almost $30 million, right?
But then again, you're taking in somebody else's baggage.
Well, that's the thing is, can the Lakers find someone that is making that kind of money that would benefit playing with this team? That's the question that we have to figure out. That's the question. We got to go look. I'm not saying this is not going to happen, but it's funny. Hypothetically, let's say,
okay,
and this is a stupid question regardless, because I think I already know the answer. What if New Orleans is really sick of Zion, and they take on the expiring contracts and then the draft picks that they want from us.
Well, the thing is, though,
let's look at that for a second. What would that do? But the thing is, you would need to sit down with Zion and say, Zion, we're going to run a Pat Riley diet here. You're never going to be above 250. You are going to look like Charles Barkley in 1993, not Charles Barkley in 1984 when he came out in the draft.
I just think that's not going to be something achievable to him unless he really gets the message, Joe. And I'm not sure he's going to get the message. I mean, he's been in the league.
So if LeBron sits with him, again, this is not going to happen, but I was just kind of thinking hypothetically. If LeBron and AD sit with him and say, we need your ass to drop 50 pounds by April.
I don't think he got it in him,
You don't think he'll do it?
Honest. I don't think he got it in him, to be honest with you, Joe. And it's
Is this
LA,
his fourth
bro.
year now or third year?
I think, yeah, I
Fourth
think it's
year.
fourth year. But listen, Joe, you were making a great point earlier about just, bruh, this is freaking LA. The media freaking presence is different. And some people, you know what they do under that pressure, Joe? Joe, not all people are built like you, brother. Not all people are built like you. You know what happens to some people under pressure? They freaking crumble like ants when you step on them.
Well, that's when you look at so for example, I was with my network meeting tonight. I'm sorry, earlier this morning, I should say. And one of the companies that are in this network is a counseling company. And of course, for some weird reason during the holidays, I think what they call it is marriages are 1 foot in, 1 foot out situation. And she had gotten 10 calls this week. This week is Wednesday. It's not even the freaking full week. 10 people that are like having issues, right? And they have kids and they have all this stuff. And it's weird because I've seen it. I've seen parents who can't handle their kids. And I'm sitting there going, what is wrong with you? You're the adult. What is the problem? Tell them no. Oh, well, they're emotionally upset. I don't give a shit if they're emotionally upset. You're the adult. Tell them to get their ass up and go do whatever you need them to do. That's how it works. But they get stressed. So it's I'm trying to use an everyday relatable thing here, folks, because we're more likely in that world than we are in professional sports. But they're actually the same thing when it factors in pressure of family life, pressure of a marriage, pressure of work, pressure of performing on a court, pressure of dealing with the media, pressure of dealing with fans. It's not the same thing, but it is in terms of pressure, because pressure is pressure, just like pain is pain, right? Like you can't judge someone's pain, no matter how much you're like, well, why is this test bothering you? It's just bothering them. It's pain, right? So Bloodhound, that's an excuse. That's a bullshit excuse. I have kids now. My kids, my nephew, we good. Trust me. Kids,
what is he saying?
They're not
Kids
stupid.
are different
They're
now.
smart if you guide them the right way.
What's he saying? I don't get it. What is he saying?
Says kids are different now. No, that's a generational fallacy. Another generational fallacy is everything was great 50 years ago. That's horseshit of all horseshit. That's not true. Okay? Human beings have been human beings since the beginning. The only thing that has ever changed in human history, really changed, is technology. That's it. Human behavior. Now, technology can dictate the behavior in a different way, but if it's the internet, if it's a mob in the early Victorian times and the kings and the queens and the monarchies, it's human beings have the same jealousies and the same depressions and the same revengeful feelings of things that they don't like or like. Again, nothing's changed when it comes to human behavior, but technology. Now, going back to sports again, I wanted to use something that was relatable. The Lakers right now, they have a world of a different coach. And it's the reason why they're 7-4, because LeBron is doing LeBron things. And again, he's making me look more and more dumb with my top 5 pick. At the end of the year, regardless of what the results are, from an individual standpoint, I don't think I could argue anymore that LeBron isn't solidified as a top 5 player, probably for the remainder of the NBA history. Just you can't deny that.
That's been in lock, Joe. Come on.
It's
Top
been
five.
unlocked, but at this point, see, the thing is, the reason why I picked my lineup is it's because it's been my lineup for 20 plus years now. And there's a theme to all 5 of my picks. There's a theme that I maybe relate to, but at the same time, huge results came from it. But LeBron is getting to the point now where, he's going to solidify this, even in my eyes. And I guess we can enjoy it. I'm going to enjoy the game by game setup, which is what I said before. I'm going to try to enjoy the games as much as I can, because if you don't, you wear out the audience, you wear out yourself. You can't constantly be in this dreadful moment, especially when it comes to results of winning. Even if it's a shitty win, it's still a win. And then you see someone who's in his 80th season still dropping 35, 18, and 14. And like, Jesus Christ, you got to appreciate that, because you're going to take it for granted if you don't. So let's see. Robert Wheeler, John and Joe, what do you think about the Lakers going after Reggie Jackson on the Sixers? I think that would be a great pickup.
He's
To be honest,
I just want to say this. He's on a minimum right now, and he has seen better days. Go ahead, John. Sorry.
yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I just don't think like he's the answer. I think it'd be more of a little bit of a lateral move, to be honest with you. We would just be bringing in a offensive minded player who doesn't really fill any of our holes that we need. Like, he's just, I guess, a little bit more of a consistent version of D'Angelo Russell. But hey, you come to LA, like I said, them guys might fold. That's exactly what happens. The role players, some of them step up to the table, but some of them fold and get their careers demolished after being in LA. So I don't think they'll do much.
The Lakers need a guard, but there's nothing available. Everything that could be coming, if there's the right deal, is it's a large. It's usually small forwards, or a center, or a big. But I can't find any guards that would somehow be available that the Lakers could go get. Any usable guard would be probably a hair below an all-star guard, or an all-star guard, or that player's making $40 million a year.
I'm just going to say this. If you can't beat out Kyle Lowry on minutes, what Kyle Lowry is, 38 himself, that tells you all you need to know about where Reggie Jackson is at, as far as a viable player right now to go after. So, I mean, John, tonight, though, Dalton Connect really provided something for one of the worst benches in the league, provided something really outstanding, plus 17, 19 points, 5 of 5 from 3. I mean, this is the type of game we've been waiting for him to get, and it wasn't in garbage time. It wasn't something that was happening later in preseason or in garbage time like his only other big game this year. This is something we have been waiting for a long time. This is something we could see that was eventually going to happen. It just took, again, the right amount of touches and the right amount of minutes and the confidence from the coach to get him there.
Yes, it did, man. And it's exactly like how we've all been saying over here, Joe. He needs the rhythm. He needs the touches. He needs opportunities. And once he got them, he's making well of them, and I just hope that he does continue to get it because I think that it's a really good offense to run, especially when you don't have LeBron and AD out there. Just help get easy buckets, easy looks. One thing I know as a basketball player, there's nothing better than seeing that ball go through the hoop. Once you see the ball go through the hoop one time, you good.
So Soham is telling me that LeBron should be in the top 5, and
But you should not be.
I'm gonna put this in perspective for you. So from 1980 to 1987, if you look at Bird's stats and what he did, MVPs, All-Stars, who he played against, this isn't just a linear decision, folks. You have to factor in competition. Bird had to go through Dr. J, Isaiah, Isaiah, Dr. J, and Magic and Kareem. The competition in his era is unmatched. It is unmatched. And in that time, he was winning championships and 3 straight MVPs. And he's the Einstein or the Isaac Newton of the NBA. That's how brilliant he was. I'm not just throwing this out here because I don't like LeBron.
And it's not like you have LeBron at 10 or 20 or 30 or something.
I had him at 6. Because I've had Bird, Magic, and Jordan in the top 5 for years. And it's not based off of, well, he played 10 years more. No, that's not how you base the great players. You don't. I don't. I base it off of, now if Bird had played 3 seasons, okay, yeah, and he was great in all 3 seasons. If he had a Gale Sayers type run where Gale Sayers blew out his knee, only played about 5 or 6 years, and that was it. No, Bird played for 8 seasons with that competition and was balling and dealing and winning MVPs and winning championships, and arguably had the best single season team in that era in 1986. This isn't based off of hate. See, that's you talk about the generational thing, the kids these days. I was maybe wrong there a little bit, because now that might make a little sense, because now when you don't pick something that someone doesn't like based off of the only thing they've seen. You've only seen probably LeBron, most, not all. I know some people were around for Bird and still pick LeBron. I get it. But when I look at Larry Bird's career, I got the tail end of it. I didn't see everything from 1980 through. But from what I've seen, and I'm a historian, I've seen the live games. I've seen the entire 85, 87, 80, 82, 80 championship Laker teams and 84 championship run. Like, I've seen these games. I've seen them play, even though it was later. But this is based off of what was going on at that time. The competition, there was no better competition in NBA history than in the 80s, because there weren't as many teams. Orlando wasn't there. Minnesota wasn't there. Toronto wasn't there. Vancouver, Memphis wasn't there. You had 4 less teams in the NBA at that time, and you had now a spreading of more talent and harder teams to beat. There were great players that played in that era that people don't even know. Alex English. A lot of people don't even know who George Gervin was. I mean, Rolando Blackman. Like, these guys were going to the conference finals and competing with the Lakers of that era, taking them to 7. Utah and Malone, as young as they were, took the Lakers to 7 in 88. There was a lot of competition at that time, and that matters. I'm sorry to say this, and this is the last thing I'm going to say about LeBron in a negative way, because this is getting out of hand now. LeBron, folks, played in the East for a solid decade in what was one of the worst conferences in NBA history. It played a factor, because if LeBron was not in the East during that time and was in the West, he would not have made 10 straight finals appearances. It's just, it would have been too difficult. That plays a factor in all this. I'm not downgrading his talent, but I'm giving you solid information on why I've had Bird in my top 5 for as long as I have. He's a killer too. He was doing things in the 80s that they're doing now. Imagine if he was here now. Imagine the guy averaged 3 shot attempts from 3, and he was known for that in the 80s. Imagine if you'd given Bird 8 to 10 shots a game. He would have dropped 35 points a game in this era. Then what would you say? Did I make myself clear, guys, or am I being obtuse?
No, you're not.
No.
Again, but it's all subjective. It's all subjective.
It's all objective. It's all subjective. It's all objective. It's all subjective with the objective.
And nobody is wrong, Eduardo. Nobody is wrong in this situation because that's how you feel. That's your opinion, and you're entitled to it, and you should be respected for it, just like Joe should. Thameless, guys are all making great points.
Eduardo, I'm with you. I'm with you, brother. I'm with you, brother. But it's no point in arguing. But I mean,
because you could go all night, Joe, and you can go.
Yes, and I'll put a button on this. I'll put a button on this. It's very important to understand that when someone like Pat Riley, who's seen them all, he employed LeBron, so he would know. He watched Michael Jordan take titles away from him in New York. He had to deal with Larry Bird in the 80s. He had to deal with Dr. J and Isaiah, and then the Isaiah Thomases and all these guys. When Pat Riley, when they ask him a question, basketball related, when they say, who would you want to make the last shot? And he comes back with, if I needed to win a game, I'm picking Michael Jordan all day to make that shot to win a game. But if my life was on the line, he's picking Larry Bird. I didn't say that. Pat Riley did. Who would know better than Pat Riley? So if you don't think Larry Bird was him,
who would know better than Pat Riley?
Who would know better than Pat Riley?
Yeah,
Joe Soro.
Larry Bird has the stats too. He just doesn't have 30 years like LeBron. But at the same time, Vince Carter played 22 years. How do we assess his career? I'm just saying, guys. I mean, LeBron is going to be in the top 5 when it's done here. I'm throwing something at you here, right? But it wasn't based off of hate. If LeBron wins in 2011 and in 2014, it's bona fide at that point. There's missing things there, right? Those things matter. Just like how on the playback, I was talking about Shaq. Someone asked me about where I had Shaq in the all-time list. That one's as clear as day. If Shaq wins the 2 finals he loses where he was favored, Shaq is sitting in the 1 spot at the center position because he would have won 6 championships out of 6 tries, would have won with 3 different teams, and probably would have had 5 finals MVPs. Look at how different that stat looks with his career. Right now, it's 4 titles with 3 finals MVPs. Still unbelievable, right? Still unbelievable. But imagine 6 with 5 finals MVPs. That changes drastically the list because this game is about talent and accomplishment. It really is. It's about talent and the accomplishments together.
Just to let everybody know, AD is talking about how it took him 3 quarters because, you can see with his left eye. I'm watching him now in his post-game interview, which I just retweeted on Lakers Fast Break at Twitter, about how he had to adjust and finally was able to adjust to the lights in the crypt around the 4th quarter where he started to be able to see it better. But yeah, he's still got that, the eye injury and all. But Joe and also John, please input as far as what Trollo said. That's a good question, Trollo. Which other active player is highest on our list? I mean, you talked about earlier, Joe, about how of this decade, you're thinking Jokic. I don't know how you can get away from Jokic as far as being the best player of this decade because he's on his way this season to getting his 4th because he's been, again, he's playing video games in real life with his stats. It's like LeBron. Okay, LeBron's been getting those 3 straight triple doubles for LeBron. That's what he's averaging. I think as far as Jokic on the season is close to a triple double right now. It's just, man, it's been something to see. But yeah, any active players closing out on your list, guys?
John, go ahead and do your thing, and I'll follow.
Yeah, honestly, it's
KD?
crazy to me. Are we talking about players that should be
Just all
behind
time.
Jokic?
Are any of those younger players heading up? Even if they're in their mid-30s, are any active players moving up on your all-time list? I think Jokic, after his 4th time he wins MVP, I think he really has to, if he wins it this year.
I mean, what
getting that in that conversation. I didn't say get there. I just said be at least in that conversation.
Yeah, but I just think like when we're talking about like all time lists, I guess like what all time lists? Because like Jokic does that, but he still doesn't enter my top 5. Like I'm gonna be honest. Like
I didn't say top 5. I'm just saying
no, absolutely.
Top 10,
like,
top 15, top 20. I mean, where we know LeBron is in that conversation on almost everyone's list, unless you're really a hater for a top 10 player out there. But is KD, is Jokic, those are the players I see that are at least at that point where they're in that top 25 conversation. And Jokic, the more he gets, as far as the MVPs are concerned, the more you have to consider him, putting him up there. Yeah, he's only has 1 title, but Joe, you got to decide, man.
I like the name, Joe.
Okay, well, the Jokic decision in the future is going to be very tough. You just top 5 is already hard, and top 10 is hard, folks. The NBA top 10, you still have to figure out where you're going to put Wilt, Elgin Baylor, Jerry West, Hakeem Olajuwon. I mean, top 10 is just as hard as top 5, to be honest with you. You're going to put Jokic ahead of Wilt? I don't know, guys. That's a tough one. As far as eras are concerned, Curry is amazing. Now you have to where are you going to put Curry? Where are you going to put Durant?
Good point with Curry. Absolutely.
So Curry,
great point with Curry.
Phenomenal. Durant, phenomenal. But
you gotta think
in my book, no matter how great Curry was, winning back-to-back MVPs, winning titles, LeBron has never relinquished that throne to him or to Durant, even when Durant won his MVP. LeBron is the 2010 through 2019 number 1, and there's no guy it's been 2010 through 2019. It's LeBron's league. Even in 18 when he got injured, doesn't matter. I'm talking about best player in the league, barring injury. That's the guy. And Steph and it's been second with Durant switching there a little bit at the beginning of the 2010s. That's it. There is no denying. And you can say even LeBron had a little bit of the last couple of years in the 2000s, but you can't really also because Kobe's winning championships at that time. So I can't relinquish that even though he was winning MVPs, which I'm not going to get into this MVP discussion. I've discussed it enough. I'm tired of talking about it. Shaq and Kobe were robbed continuously for MVP. Kobe should have won 3 straight MVPs in 08, 09, and 10. He was as valuable a player as you'll ever be in a goddamn league. Okay, coming back from getting beat in 08 to go 65-17 all the way to win the championship, and then hitting 7 freaking game winners in 2010. You don't make those shots. They're an 8th seed that year. That's how competitive that year was. The Lakers had to go on another run in 4 straight series to beat 50-win teams on a back-to-back and play a freaking juggernaut in the Celtics in the finals. And Phoenix was freaking off the hook that year too. And he had to go into Phoenix and kill them. So Fast forward to now.
Yeah,
Fast
let's get
forward
back
to
to the
tonight's
game.
game. We went a little out of touch there, but people want to talk about it, so we're giving it to them. Look, LeBron is putting together a career for the ages. It's Tom Brady-esque, if I had to compare it to something. Jerry Rice-esque. Kobe-esque, 20 years with quality, although the last couple of years with Kobe injuries kind of took him out. So you probably couldn't really put him in that category 100%. But anytime a player can play 20 years and do what they did, I mean, I don't know how old, a couple more years shouldn't damper that, right? But I enjoyed the game tonight. It's nice that they're still unbeaten at home. They're going to go on the road trip here on Friday. They're going to play with Victor Wembanyama, which I am seeing at this point, barring injury. I hope nothing happens to him. Victor's going to be a first-team All-NBA player this year.
He struggled to get out of the gate, but the last 2 games, he has looked like the Victor that you're talking about, Joe.
And if the Spurs are smart,
conveniently right at the time when we need.
If the Spurs are smart, for Pop's sake, I think they need to get him to step down.
Best wishes to Pop. Yeah. They reported he had a minor stroke on the second, and
and I think it came from
with him.
Yeah, and I think I know where it came from. Don't
Chris Paul.
The Spurs might have an opening here if certain things develop by the trade deadline. And I think one of the things they need to do is they need to sit down, Pop, and maybe they have, or maybe they won't. But I'd sit Pop down and say, Pop, it's you got to go, dude. You got to go rest. It's time. You might have to force him to stop. I think at this point, as much as cachet as he has in the NBA and on a team, but you gotta let that. You gotta rest. Tommy Lasorda had to have another heart attack to finally get him out of the manager's position back in the 90s for the Dodgers. And that's what it would take. It takes close to being dead to get these guys out. And maybe this is Pop's wake-up call. I think he should have retired 2 years ago. They should have put somebody in there, getting them prepared for what's coming. But again, I think it'd be best for everybody, especially him, to step down. But
Shams Charania did report earlier today that there is a plan to get him back at some point later on this season. But for now, it is Mitch. I think Mitch Johnson is the coach's name. He's going to be coaching for, like you said, quite some time. So,
well, I think what might play into that too, because his wife passed away, Bloodhound. I think he probably fears not doing anything. And what happens when you stop moving? You die. Maybe that's what's scaring him. But I would like to think that you're not going to not have him there. He's still going to work. He's still going to do stuff. How about? But you want the Victor Wembanyama era to kind of progress here, and maybe you need somebody that's a little bit more youthful, a little bit more focused on kind of what's going on now.
Robert Wheeler has another good question. He sent it to both you and John.
By the way, Robert, you ask phenomenal questions. I just want
he does.
Phenomenal.
Yes. John, we'll start with you. What do you think is the highest seed that you think the Lakers could finish with at the end of the year, considering LeBron and AD won't play all 82 games? Although LeBron says he will, but we all know the truth.
We all know the truth, but appreciate you trying to lie for us, LeBron. Robert, great question, brother. I think highest and best case scenario, best possible case scenario. And this is if Anthony Davis steps up to a ultra MVP level, I think is a 6 seed. I'm gonna be honest with you. And that's the best case scenario, absolutely. And I don't think that'll happen, to be honest with you. I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer, but just trying to be a little bit realistic. What about you, Joe?
Well, I had him 11th in the preseason predictions. And the reason why I had him at 11 is because I don't know if they're going to make it. I don't know if AD will play an entire year again where there isn't a major injury, major as in missing 2 or 3 weeks. I don't know if LeBron is going to be able to go an entire season without getting an injury that's going to take him out for 2 or 3 weeks. The team is not. It's got so much deficiencies in important areas, like guys coming off the bench, reliability off the bench, shot making when you're open. Even the guys that play well are missing open shots. So if Austin Reeves is missing shots and Rui is missing shots, you're screwed because Gabe and D'Lo and obviously Max Christie aren't doing shit. Connect is still a rookie. I'm not expecting him to drop 5 of 5 every game. That's just not being realistic. You probably have a game like this every couple of weeks, and you're still happy about that. But at this point, the amount of time they have to spend beating a second tier team, I mean, this was a non-playoff Memphis team. That's how good Bane and John Moran is. Even though Taylor Jenkins is probably coaching better than anybody in the NBA right now, and for a while there, he was out coaching the shit out of JJ Redick. They couldn't stop them. They were getting in position almost every series when the Lakers would either make the shot or not make the shot. Every time. It didn't matter. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know yet where this team will be in a month. They're 7-4. I never predicted they would be 4-7 or 8-12 or anything like that to start the year. I never said anything like that. I just said in the long season, with this current setup, I believe that they would be out of playoffs completely, because you have to factor in that there is a major deficiency in important areas, and you can't expect LeBron James to play like this for an entire season.
Yeah. And just really quick, Law Malcolm said, I don't know if he was talking to me for saying, or you, Joe, saying you're tripping for.
I think it was to Joe on his 11th prediction.
Yeah, I mean, whether
that's
Joe
what I predicted in the summer.
Yes, right, or Joe or me, or for that 6 seed thing, but it's just like it's really not that crazy. I mean, it's really not that crazy because when you look at the standings, let's just run through this real quick, and you tell me when to stop. I think OKC's going to finish with a better record than us. I think the Warriors are going to finish with a better record than us. I think the Suns are going to finish with a better record than us. I think the Nuggets are going to finish with a better record than us. I think Minnesota is going to finish with a better record than us. I think Sacramento is going to finish with a better record than us. And then it starts getting there's a good chance that Dallas does as well, but it could get dicey, to be honest with you. And then from the rest, I think that's around that 8th seed, which is where we originally predicted. So, really not that crazy. I feel like to say that the best case scenario is like a 6 seed, to be honest with you.
I know he didn't ask me, but I would just say it's based and predicated on the Lakers' depth, and how far the Lakers' depth is how far they'll go. Because if LeBron or AD get injured, like Joe says, that's a gap where you're not winning. I think that's a gap that we have to come to realize that the Lakers are not winning games if AD and LeBron are out any stretch of time, more than 1 or 2 games, and that's going to be problematic. So I picked them 9th for the season. Could it go higher? I could see them maybe, if everything went right, 6th or 7th. But yeah, they just don't have the depth. They don't have the depth of a high-end team during the course of the season. That's the one thing you need during the course of the season is high-end depth, and they just don't have it. That's why Golden State's doing well right now. Phoenix has found better players over the course of the past off-season, so they're deeper. All those teams at the top, outside of maybe Denver, which is still questionable, their young players are getting better now. So even they seemingly have better depth than the Lakers. So that's the problem. If the Lakers incur any injuries to LeBron or AD, it could be very troublesome. And I think that's what Joe's betting on happening more than not.
Interesting stat that I just read right now on Lakers Ball. There's a betting line for a subject we just talked about. The Lakers are the favorites to land Zion Williamson if the Pelicans decide to trade him. Lakers are plus 600.
Okay, listening to Lakers Fast Break.
I think that's kind of freaky.
They're always up there.
But
It's just
that's
they know a lot
that's
of
not what I'm
people.
talking about. I'm talking about I did not read Lakers Ball. I didn't read that on Lakers Ball. I just thought of that today. I read it just skimming it now.
Again, that's
if you're watching the NBA like we do, you're gonna get a pulse on things. And then you also have to understand who and what is involved. What are
Lakers
the
don't have
Lakers
enough
always going after?
the superstar.
The superstar. Now,
Superstars.
Zion is a complete disappointment, right? So far? Would you say he's a
I wouldn't say a
disappointment?
completely disappointment, but
It
I'd
has
say-
been a
I'd say
disappointment to a stretch.
it's a disappointment, but I wouldn't say a complete disappointment.
Okay. So let's say he's a half disappointment.
He's got to be an all-star.
Can the Lakers make him if a deal like that was to go through? Can they make him relevant again, like he was at Duke?
If anyone can, it's us.
So
but
that
if anyone
favorite
can
four-letter
fill it, it's us
word
too.
of Gerald, hope. Maybe a move to LA might motivate Zion. Another four-letter word.
But you don't have enough picks. You know, they're going to ask for a whole bunch. Daryl Griffith's going to.
Who's gonna give him picks for what? So that he can go eat more food in Houston. Houston is the most unhealthy big city in the country. So if you think New Orleans is bad with their gumbo and their crawfish, you think Houston's going to be better? At least in LA, they eat tofu and they're worried about sunlight and all that shit.
Okay.
Something to think about. Something to hold some hope.
I think I argued against Zach LaVine because I was worried about his health, but he's balling out right now. So that's somebody that may be of interest to the Lakers. But adding anybody else on, you couldn't do that because his contract's so damn high.
Very interesting. Very interesting. Anyways, for those of you who have come in late tonight, the Lakers beat the Grizzlies 128-123 in a tightly contested game. Probably shouldn't have been this tight. But then we also have to remember that the Lakers are not the elite team. So maybe it makes sense, but not really because you have LeBron and AD. And AD apparently was having some adjustment problems the beginning of the game and parts of the third quarter. And he finally adjusted. I don't know if I believe that. I just think his foul troubling issues were what kind of kept him back. And then when fourth quarter hit, he finally could just play loose because he had nothing to lose at that point. Either you ball out and win or you foul out and you lose anyway. So Lakers win. They're still unbeaten at home. They're 6-0. That's a really, really good thing. They go to San Antonio on Friday and they play a back-to-back against San Antonio and I believe Houston.
Yeah, no, they go to New Orleans.
I'm sorry, New Orleans.
Yeah.
So
San Antonio, then New Orleans.
And then they'll have a couple of days off before they can come back home and play Utah. So the Lakers could really benefit because San Antonio's not that. I mean, they're still okay. They're not good. They're okay. They're kind of coming up a little bit. New Orleans is kind of in this weird limbo where they're dealing with Zion and they're dealing with Ingram, and you don't know where they are.
That's what Chris is asking. Are we opposed to Kuzma or Ingram coming back? And I just don't know how those guys.
I'm not opposed to Ingram coming back. I don't know what it would take to get him. I think actually that would help because Ingram can score, and this team needs a scorer. This team would need a scorer, some kind of scorer on a consistent basis. And I believe if LeBron sits, or even AD to some extent at the same time, you still have somebody like Brandon Ingram in there that can make shots. The Lakers need that desperately. But I don't know what New Orleans would want for him. I really don't. And can the Lakers pay him the money that they want without trying to get over the apron, which I don't think is possible, by the way.
I would, as much as I love Dalton as far as his game is concerned, Robert, I don't know if you can count on this kind of production yet as a rookie each and every time out. Remember, it's all about getting those consistent touches, getting those consistent looks, and him coming cold off the bench. For every game you're going to have like this, he is going to struggle at least early on. Uh, but I do want to see him get more opportunities, and I do want to see him get more consistent touches because games like this can be more of the norm as we go on, as he continues his rookie season, especially towards the latter end, and then going into his years going forward. I think that he can become an integral part of what the Lakers are doing if the Lakers choose to keep him and don't throw him in a trade.
Hold on. No Ingram, no on Ingram or Kuzma. The only ex-Laker I'm interested in is Lonzo. You do know that Lonzo's injured again, right?
Yeah, he got his hand, if I remember correctly. Correct?
I would rather have Max Christie on this team than Lonzo
or
Ball.
wrist, I think.
You're probably looking at me like going, what? I'd rather have Max Christie on this team than Lonzo Ball. Lonzo Ball is a corpse. He is a, like, in the coffin corpse. At least Max Christie is in rigor mortis. He's just started. Lonzo is done. Lonzo will never be a consistent NBA player again. You can bank on it. He's mentally weak. His body's brittle. He's made his money. Soon he'll be out of the league. I wouldn't. The only way I would take Lonzo is if there was some way they can facilitate a trade to where they can acquire someone of substance and to make money match. Other than that, I would cut him right away. He's of no use. He is absolutely useless.
Well, Robert, before the start of the season, when it comes to Dalton Connect, because his question is for our audio listeners out there, Gerald, how many points do you think Dalton will average this season? Because I think he'll average at least 12 off the bench going against bench players. I had said he could average between 12 to 15 heading into the season, but that was based off him getting the proper minutes and the proper touches. This is the first game we've seen, Joe, where he's gotten consistent touches off the bench, and then JJ stuck with him. He kept him out there. You noticed that, Joe. He didn't pull him off of his regular rotation 6 or 7 minutes and then let's get him out of there. No, he actually kept him in there for a good 31 minutes tonight. And I don't expect 31 minutes, guys, but if we can keep him out there 20 to 25 minutes, if he can play those kind of minutes, Joe, I can see 12 points a game from what Robert is saying. I can see that happening. But again, it's all about him and where he fits in the offense. If he still plays just, 8, 12 minutes a game, 15 minutes a game, and he goes right back to where it was before, then, I don't think you're fulfilling his promise. The thing is, did JJ Redick see it as a fellow shooter? Oh, he's the hot guy. I'm going to leave him in. But next game, if he misses a couple shots, I'm going to bench him, and I'm going to bench him quick. So I don't know yet how JJ is going to play him going forward. I still have my concerns, Robert, before I really say that he is definitely going to be that 12-point a game player coming off the bench, Joe.
Well, Connect is a rookie, and he's sometimes not in position where he needs to be. I think I noticed at the end of the first quarter, there was a play where LeBron did something, and then Connect was there, and JJ kind of got on Connect. It was a quick camera pan that panned away from it, but it looked like he wanted to talk to LeBron. LeBron kind of looked this way, and then you kind of saw him be a little aggressive with Dalton for a second, but I didn't know what it was. So Dalton is a rookie, folks. NBA rookies are usually not good in the first year. So the
especially at the guard position.
So the fact that he's doing this is already a benefit, especially with the way he played tonight. Tonight was straight all-star, perennial all-star type shot making. That fake jump shot, was that a lightsaber? I think Gerald saw a lightsaber. At least I thought I saw a lightsaber. Anyways, so the shot that I urge you to go look at again if you missed it, was he was jumping straight up for a shot, changed his mind, passed it, went stepped 3 or 4 feet to the right, got the ball back, made the shot, all in like a 2-3 second scenario sequence. I mean, straight. That would, if Kobe Bryant was still alive and he made that play, you'd be like, "Oh my God, that's Kobe! I can't believe what he did."
It was just a great game for Dalton. I'm hoping that they'll still be able to utilize him in the right way. So we'll see. It is a voice activated or sound activated light bar, Joe. I just got. So just to let you know what you're looking at, not a lightsaber.
I like that, Gerald.
Yeah.
New addition to the office.
Production value going up here at the Lakers Fast
Actually, it's
Break.
bothering my eyes.
Well, good. I'm going to do it more then. All right.
So
But
as you talk, it just.
What if I do this?
Oh damn, Joe! Oh,
then I'll do that.
What? Do what?
I'll do that.
John looks like he's sitting in a chair.
He was sitting in a chair,
waiting for the Taliban to give him instructions.
Okay.
Damn. God damn, Joe, that's how you gonna disrespect my living room? I'm just kidding.
It's not
I'm
that.
just
It's the
kidding.
chair and the wall when you got up.
Well, Joe, are you going to start the nightcap anytime
So I was
soon?
going to start the nightcap at 11.
Mm-hmm.
So drop the drink. I got to go get my drink.
Okay, you go get your drink. I'll hide you off. There you go.
I'm just posting this right here, but I'm gonna stay with you guys here for the nightcap. To be honest,
I appreciate it, man. Yeah, just, again, a good game for the Lakers. I am concerned though, John. You saw them in that second quarter, just basically, they just looked bad as far as their defense is concerned, and they are having issues on the defensive end. So that is of great concern to me. Their defense overall is not ranked very high. Their transition defense is last in the NBA. So defensively, this team has got some issues from what I'm seeing, and obviously that's why Cam Reddish is in there. But yeah, there's a problem with that. Chris says, guys, I found AD's lack of scoring interesting this game. Do we think Edie had something to do with this? The length, perhaps? He did say after the game, Chris, because of his eye, it is still swollen. If you take a look at Twitter, I did retweet it at Lakers Fast Break. He did say that he had a hard time adjusting to the lights because of the scratch cornea that he got and he received. So he said it took about 3 quarters-ish to really start adjusting to the lights. So just a heads up, that may have also been why. Of course, Zach Edey, yeah, but I think it was more because of the eye issues that has been had. Like I said, he did start adjusting, by the time the fourth quarter rolled around, and obviously we saw the fact he hit the 3. Again, it's not my favorite shot that he takes, but he's getting closer to 30% now, so people will be happy with that. John, what are your thoughts? I mean, tonight, I don't think it was more a question, Edie. I do think it's more a question of his health and his eye, because his eye still looks swollen at this point in time.
Yeah, I mean, well, first before I say that, Jay, look, because Jay keeps saying he wants to see the chair. It's just a regular chair. But I don't know why Joe said that, but
okay.
But just want to show that because Jay said
the chat is always bound to ask different things, so that's something.
And I love this Lakers shot so much that I will give you whatever. I mean, if y'all want to see the chair, I'll show y'all the chair. So anyway, to your point, Gerald.
And then we'll get Joe into the nightcap here in a second. Hold on, Joe.
Look at him, Joe.
Okay,
Joe can't wait. Joe can't. Hey, Joe, I'm gonna be joining you for the nightcap. I don't have a drink though, but
so folks, it's a potluck tonight. Lakers Whatever you want to talk about. You want to talk about life? You want to talk about John's personal life? Gerald's non-personal life? We'll talk about anything.
What the hell?
He said, "What the hell?" Wait,
Whatever.
wait, Gerald. I was telling you something. Now I forgot. What were we talking about, Gerald?
We were talking about AD and the reason why he was struggling today.
Yeah. No. So yeah, exactly. So I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna be so honest. It makes sense, right? It totally makes sense. Like if you have a scratch retina, like it makes sense that like your eye would hurt. But to be in the NBA and give that as like it's a real excuse, and I validate it. But it sounds, you know what I'm saying? It sounds kind of like, come on, man. So he's probably catching a whole bunch of heat. But hey, as long as he didn't hurt it more, and if the light is hurting it, he better wear some goggles.
Well, we'll see what happens. But again, it is the Lakers winning 128-123. Joe is going to be drinking up, and we're going to join him for the nightcap. Who knows what trouble Joe will get into, because it's coming up right now on the Lakers Fast Break podcast.
Oh, yeah. So tonight I'm having honey jack again because it's a sweet evening. I don't have any bees here, though.
That pouring in the
So I'm going to be drinking by myself like usual, like a bunch of saps.
I'm sorry, Joe.
I'm still in a food coma. You'll have to excuse me on that one.
Drinking a bunch of do-gooders. No balls. I don't drink. I like my water.
Well, what about this right here, Joe?
Nah. You can't drink.
But around
when you have a drink,
between Normandy and Weston,
when you have a drink in your home, you can't smoke in the house.
You can't. No,
it stinks up everything. Your clothes stink. This just destroys your liver.
You're right. You can't smoke in the house, but you can smoke outside though.
So those Dare commercials when I was growing up, they affected me. I'll be honest. I grew up thinking everyone that smoked dope looked like Kurt Cobain.
I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. I mean, I think it's different generations or whatnot. But
cheers to you, Chris.
I think drinking is actually.
Salute.
I think drinking is worse than smoking. I think both are terrible. I mean, fucking both you're not doing great to your body.
Will you stop with this? Trying to be cool with everyone. Everything is bad for you. Okay?
Yeah.
I can't drink my tap water because I'll get dysentery.
Agreed. Everything's bad.
Now what? What's left? Just have a drink, live a little bit.
Yeah. Take a hit.
All right. BTS has been begging me to bash Bronny for a few of these nightcaps. So I'm going to bash Bronny real quick and get it out of the way. Are you happy, BTS? I'm going to drop some stuff here. Okay. Bronny still is not an NBA player, and he never will be. The end. What kind of filter? For the running water out of my sink? I got a filter on my fridge, and I also have the nugget ice things, and I use distilled water, so I don't have to clean the machine all the time. Water. So
water.
Okay, so what have we not talked about tonight involving the Lakers and their future?
I think we've covered everything as far as trying to see what the major problems for the Lakers are. Again, in depth, the whole issue.
Why would a betting line of Zion Williamson come out, or at least I see, 5 minutes after I talked about it, and I didn't know about it?
That was crazy. I know. Who's the most underrated player on the Lakers roster? It's a good question.
Underrated?
I'd say Dalton Connect, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
He's
I
not
go
a
with
bit-
And
He's
what?
just, he's not rated yet to be underrated.
Yeah, but he's not rated, but he should be rated because of what he can do, and if we use him right,
No.
he should be
You know who's
more highly
underrated?
rated.
LeBron
Joe.
James.
You know who's underrated? Joe. Say, and then you say
Yay! A
Joe who?
subscriber.
LeBron
Thank
is
you, JD.
underrated. Dude, the guy's getting no help. Drops 35, 14, and 12.
It's crazy.
I
35
mean,
points.
come on. It's getting ridiculous now. I'm not Windhorst fan, but he is right. I think Windy gets a bad rap, to be honest.
I don't like him at all. I think he comes off very aloof at times and not very prepared, especially when he does his audio podcast. But today, I will give him credit because you know how close he is. He's here doing ESPN because of LeBron James, because he covered LeBron James in the Ohio area from high school on. So he actually has his job and can thank LeBron for what he's got today as far as his
Wait, what?
seven-figure. Yes, Brian Windhorst. That's how he got to be on ESPN and all that. It's because he was covering LeBron. He was the first major reporter to cover LeBron in high school early on, and then into to what he did with the Cavs and whatnot, because he's from that area. So
Jason Whitlock. Jason Whitlock is like these tabloid TV stations. He has no. He just goes one way the whole time.
But go ahead, John.
So he just what? Just freaking.
He was the major LeBron reporter in the early years. Was him?
But LeBron's had hundreds of reporters since he was like in 8th grade.
He was there for every high school game, for every. It's just again, he was there early on. And he tells the story of how he asked his editor at the time if he could go ahead and start covering him on a full-time basis and all that. But getting back to today, if you listened on his Hoop Collective, he did say something about Bronny James and the development plan, quote unquote, that they have for him, saying it's the right one. And he said he has issues with it. And I agree. He should be at South Bay for the entire season, for the full
season. Move locations real quick so I get a little more comfortable.
Yeah, no worries. I got you. So he is got to be on a better. And this is ridiculous, Joe, how they have some. Let's just take the Bronny James part out of it. But let's just say that the Lakers had a second-round pick that they want to develop. But, oh, by the way, we're only going to let him play in the South Bay home games, but he's going to travel with the team and just sit on his butt for all these games out on the road. I don't understand why that they're doing that, because the fact is he is losing valuable minutes on the floor anywhere, to even the possibility that he can prove us wrong and become an NBA player at some point down the line. It just seems like to me that the more you want to throw him out there to make mistakes, the higher chance he might actually become a player after all, Joe. Let's take the Bronny James out of it. Just anybody that was picked at that level.
It's a constant Groundhog Day discussion that I don't feel like having anymore.
Okay, I understand why, but I'm just saying
I'm burnt out. I'm burnt out from talking about the same thing over and over again. And if I'm wrong in the future, I'm wrong. Right now, I'm enjoying a 7-4 start, praying I'm wrong, because winning is all that matters. But when you factor in the stats, the tenor of the room, who's involved, biology, skill sets, all this stuff, it doesn't look good in the long run. And until there's some kind of infusion of talent to cover for 3 really, really bad players, I don't know how this team is going to make it through an 82-game season. And even if they did, How are they going to make it through the first round starting on the road again? Home court in the NBA really, really matters. It's not baseball, it's not hockey, and it's not the recent NFL either. It's just not. Home court in the NBA is still extremely valuable. Very, very rarely do teams not play well at home during those runs. There have been upsets. There have been all kinds of things. That's sports. But in terms of a consistent year in, year out, you're not going to see a team go 4 rounds on the road to win a championship. We haven't seen it since 1995. That was the last time. And I don't even remember. I don't even know when. I don't even know what team did it before then. From my memory, I don't think I remember any team in the modern game that has done that. But see, that's changed too, because there used to be 2 rounds. Then you went to the finals. There used to be 1 round. Then there was 3 rounds, and the first round was best of 3. So if you look at it from the 4 series championship run, it's 1990, right? Was it 1990? No. I think it was 1982, where you have to go through 3 rounds and then I'd have to look at this while you talk. I'll look at it, but mid 80s, whatever, where you had 4 rounds to get to the finals.
It was 3 rounds back in the early 80s. I do remember that.
Yeah, but then it turned into 4. The first round was best of 5 for the longest time up until Stern screwed that up in the 2000s. And then it turned to all 7. So if you factor in all 7, there's never been a team to win a championship. I think that's been below 3.
Okay.
Yeah, I think 3 is the only. I gotta look into that, but I think 3 is the highest seed that's won a championship since the creation of the 4 series, all 7 game series format. I'll look into that though.
Law Malcolm, you're right. Joe kind of bypassed the Rockets, who are 8-4 earlier. I do want to compliment them. Maybe they are finally growing up now under Ime Udoka. Remember, they had that late run at the end of last season, and I did say that team is loaded with talent, and they have more wings. They have more wings than any team, including the Thunder, right now. I think more capable wings that play on both sides or can play decent on both sides of the ball than anyone right now. Overall, talent-wise, you could say OKC has the edge, but okay. What's going on, Joe?
I had to undo my internet; it wasn't working.
See, okay, there you go. But Law Malcolm, I agree with you. Houston has got a lot of talent and should not be overlooked at all. I think that people need to watch out for them. Are they going to grow up this fast? I mean, they got off to a great start. Sometimes it gives a young team a lot of confidence. We saw that with OKC. So yeah, that they could be playing at a higher level than what many of us anticipated. But yeah, they got a lot of wings on that roster. And they could be a team, Joe, that makes a major trade if a certain Giannis Antetokounmpo or some other superstar decides they want to go AWOL off their own team this season. If you don't want draft picks, or you do want draft picks, but you also want ready-made players now, Houston has quite a few of them themselves.
It's too early to predict at this point, other than what we did in the summer. I don't know, but everything's playing out. And if you have to put it in a vacuum, everything's playing out pretty much exactly how we thought it would play out.
Yeah.
So if you look at the standings, other than a few teams going here and there, Golden State's a contender, a little high, but they're contending. Phoenix is contending, which you didn't kind of know, but you did. Denver's coming back up again. Houston's competing. Oklahoma City Thunder are the number 1 seed. Grizzlies are competing. Sacramento's competing. Clippers are somewhat competing, and then of course San Antonio's playing better than expected. But we also talked about them possibly being a little bit of a force, especially with Chris Paul being there. Then
Dallas
you
is
have
a
Minnesota
big
and Dallas.
disappointment right now. Yeah.
Yeah. Minnesota and Dallas are disappointments, but I think that's going to change not too long in the next month or so. I think it's
And New Orleans, because they're a mass unit right now. So that's the thing. As long as we go in there and Trey Murphy doesn't go red hot because he just came back this week, which is always scary because it'll be like his I'm assuming his second or third game back when he plays the Lakers. That could be really, really scary for the Lakers when they play them on Saturday. So I'm hoping that won't come to fruition there. But John, we got you back all nice and comfy for the nightcap, man.
Really uncomfortable. I'm all in now. I was in that really uncomfortable Taliban chair.
The Taliban chair. Okay, there you go.
So, but now I got a nice little comfortable blanket here and pillow. I'm on the couch.
Okay.
But I was listening the whole time. And to your guys' point, about other teams, and Joe, you were mentioning the Warriors. Now I'm going to be honest with you guys. I thought the Warriors were going to.
You lie to us a little bit. You're always being honest with us.
All right, I'll try to lie a little bit. Joe sucks.
Thanks,
no, that's not a lie.
Thanks.
Salute. John, wear your Lakers sweet shirt. Yes, I have a lot of Lakers shirts. This is
if it didn't say De La Salle, I would have clowned them by now.
No, it's because this was our warm ups in high school, and I just like to sleep in it, to be honest. But anywho, listen, the Warriors, they had. I thought they were going to take a step back. I was like, wow, they had some good additions with the Anthony Melton, I think Kyle Anderson, and plugging up the holes that they had. But their biggest hole that they did not plug up was the big man position. And I was like, all right, this team, I think, is going to take a step back or stay in the same range. They have taken a step forward. So I got to give them credit. Early in the season, but them boys are hooping right now. I'm going to be honest with you.
That's a good question, Thameless. He says, if Giannis is he more likely to stay or go? And if he goes, to whom most likely? I think if it keeps on going like this, Thameless, he wants to go because he's now over 30. Surprise, surprise, everyone. He is now a 30-year-old. So he now sees the rest of his career staring at him as far as, not how many years he might be left playing at an elite level. So he's already dropped his LeBron passive aggressive comments almost weekly, Joe. So I say that's the first question. I say he is, if it continues this way, I say he's going to go.
Yeah, it would definitely put some excitement in the NBA a little bit if we can get who's going to get Giannis 2-week kind of
that'd be
trade
good.
deadline talk.
Sure.
Where's he going to want to go?
Miami.
I don't know why my instincts say Golden State.
No, please. God, no, please. You guys have no idea. Bro, I have to. Okay, you know what? Since this is the nightcap, we could be a little personal, right? You guys have no idea all the.
Because you live in the Bay Area, just
I had to go through as a Laker fan living in the Bay Area. And I went to high school during their stupid ass little run. And I used to tell them, like, dude, you guys don't know. You guys were not watching Kobe. Because I swear on my soul, I have been locked in to the Lakers since literally 2008. So I watched the Lakers' success a little bit. And then I watched all of just terribleness throughout my high school. And the Warriors were just so good. And everybody was just like, oh my God, Stephen Curry is like the new Jesus Christ. And I was like, no, he's not. I was like, no, he's not. He's not even He's not even at first. I used to be like, he's not even as good as Kobe, and he's not as good as Kobe. I'm gonna be honest with you, as an overall player, he's not. He's a better shooter than him, but he's not a better player. But it was just the hype, and I just that made me have such a disdain for Warrior fans. So please do not let Giannis go to the Warriors.
Don't ask Clay that after last night's shot, but we won't digress on that. But,
no, don't get me wrong. I give Curry his credit, but I don't want to see the Warriors just super hella good again because that was
so. Do you think Giannis is going to stay or go this season?
Honestly, you made a good point, Gerald, about him going to the Houston Rockets. Like they're setting themselves up for like, come on, bring one more. Look what we got going.
They can get it. I feel like they have an itchy trigger finger. I think OKC, despite all the assets that they have, I think they want to see what it looks like with Hartenstein in there first before they make any moves. Because with Holmgren now 8 to 10 weeks, I think they want to see when Hartenstein comes back exactly how it looks. But Joe, what are your thoughts, man? If he goes somewhere, where do you think he'll go?
Giannis?
Miami is a good place too.
Do they have the assets though?
They'll find a way.
Yeah.
Malcolm, Gerald, can you break down for them? You know your basketball.
By the way, I did a research here while you guys were talking. For 22 seasons since the NBA has implemented a 7-game series in each round, was based the year of 2002-2003. The lowest seed to win a championship was the 3 seed. That's how important home court is in the NBA.
Who was it?
There was a few. Golden State in 2022, the Pistons in 04.
But that's just the lowest seed, though.
The lowest seed to win a championship was 3. Not even a 4, not a 5. It's extremely difficult to not have a high seed and win it all in the NBA. It's always been there. Mm-hmm. Even the Raptors were a 2 seed coming out the East during their run.
I just don't think they have enough picks in Golden State. I think like the Lakers, they can only get 2. So they'd have to find a third team to facilitate more picks to Milwaukee, because Milwaukee will want everything and the grandmother and the kitchen sink.
There's no one else that can get Giannis.
That would be such a sad thing.
Oklahoma City is the only one where he can go and win right away. That means Presti has to decide on whether he wants to drop 8 first-round picks plus a player for Giannis.
Jake Nine's asking Joe and Gerald, and let's include John on this. Do you think the Lakers will fall after a hot start? If you look at the statistics, if you look at just the statistics, yes, LeBron and AD played 70-plus games last year, Joe. Yes, they did play in the Olympics. The statistics before that suggest at some point in time, one or both of those guys get injured. If you look at the number of games played or the percentage of games that they played during the course of the past 5 seasons, one or both of them will be out for at least a 1, 2 week, 3 week period of time. So if that's the case, the Lakers' depth is probably as bad as I've seen it this decade. Joe, do you concur on
that? Let me put this in perspective for you guys. I know you can't choose who you play, but I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a lesson in the last 3 games. They've won the last 3 games at home. Home cooking helped. However, they played a team in Philly without Embiid and Maxey. Toronto, Scotty Barnes wasn't playing in that game. Memphis, Ja and Desmond Bane weren't playing. So let's go back in time here real quick. Let's say everyone was playing in Philly, everyone was playing in Toronto, and everyone was playing in Memphis. What do you think the results would have been between those 3 teams? Would it have been 2-1, 1-2, 0-3? Ask yourself that question. When they start playing Phoenix on the road, after playing Denver, after playing Orlando, and then playing San Antonio on the road, then Oklahoma City, What's those 4 games going to be? So they're playing Denver at home, then it's Phoenix, San Antonio on the road, and then they gotta come back home and play Oklahoma City. Those teams, if they're at full arsenal, are going to be a problem.
And Orlando, just so everyone, they're the only other team. They're like a trivia question right now, Joe. Who is the only other team besides Cleveland and Boston to have a winning record in the East? And the answer right now is, despite Paulo Banchero not being there, Orlando.
And
Franz Wagner.
That's the scary part.
Franz Wagner.
Paulo.
Well, yeah, wouldn't you know, conveniently, Joe, Franz Wagner finally has found his shooting touch that he didn't have in the playoffs, that he didn't have for last season. He finally, conveniently, has found his shooting touch with Paulo Banchero not there. What do you know?
That's the same reason why Dalton Connect went off in the third. Because he actually got the ball.
Yeah.
You'd have to worry about. This is why guys like Eddie Jones got traded when Kobe was coming up. This is why these trades happen. The Norm Nixon's getting traded because Magic was needing to get more space. There's only 5 players that play at once, and some guys need more than others, and that's just what it is.
And that's real, because somebody got to get the shots, and you just got to make a decision. And this is me tying things together, being smart. But Joe, I know you and Gerald, you guys both know that, like, as businessman, you had to make a decision, and both may be good decisions, but you just got to make the better one. And it's like that example you just gave with that other fella you were just talking about, Joe, and Kobe. It's like other fella. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know who he's talking about, to be honest with you, but regardless, that's not what we're here to talk about. What we're here to talk about is the Lakers had to make a decision. Are we gonna let Kobe or this guy get the shots? You want the option of Kobe?
Kobe was Eddie Jones was the other guy.
Oh yeah.
Eddie Jones was an all-star. Eddie
the
Jones
ball guy
was loved, played good
number
defense.
20. Number
Well,
20,
he was 25 until Goodrich's. Until Goodrich went into the Hall of Fame, then they retired his number. Then he was switched to 6.
Okay, yeah, no, I heard of him.
Congratulations to LeBron, who is the oldest player to record 3 straight triple doubles in NBA history.
Well, that's his 26th over 35, I believe. The closest is Jason Kidd with 9, I believe.
And we are hard on LeBron. Don't get us wrong, but then again, the stats bear out. And I know I was criticized the other day, guys, when I called LeBron the best player ever at age 39. I didn't say he's the best player ever. I said at age 39.
I'll say he's the best player ever.
At age 39, I still think it's MJ, but like I said, it's a matter of your opinion, and I respect your opinion, John.
Absolutely, I respect yours, brother.
At 39, no one has ever played better in the NBA. I understand he takes defense off. I get that. All those criticisms that you guys have about LeBron, they're all true, but you cannot deny what the numbers say about how well he's shooting, how well he's playing on the offensive end. And the fact is, again, nobody is playing better at this age. I don't know what you guys expect sometimes out there. He is 39 years old out there, Joe and John, and he's still getting triple doubles. And we're relying on this guy at 39 to keep playing like this. That's the problem. Because, again, as I always say it, Rob is still playing like this team like LeBron's a 30-year-old as opposed to a 40-year-old, expecting him to do this every single game. But the problem is, as soon as we go on that back-to-back, do we think that he's actually going to get the 4th and 5th triple doubles? I wouldn't count on it because we've seen him on the road already. He's struggled on the road. He has not looked good on the road for any consistent amount of time, except for that one game in Memphis where he tried to do it all himself. I'm just worried about exactly how much reliant we are on 2 guys to get this team to the victory lane.
LeBron is the greatest athlete that's ever lived.
Well, that's what they want you to say. So.
Better than Jim Thorpe, even.
I'm just saying, at 39, there's no better NBA player. At 39.
Absolutely. That's not even a freaking question, though, guys.
But I got argument. I get pushback on this all the time.
From who? What player at 39 is even playing more than 25 minutes a game?
They threw a washed up MJ, who again I consider to be the best player I've ever seen in my lifetime. But at 39, he came back, or 38 actually. 38, he came back after 3 years off and was a shell of himself doing turnaround jumpers in Washington for 38 and his 38 and 39-year-old season, getting terrible numbers shooting. He got 20 points a game, but his shooting numbers were bad. It just was not the same MJ by the time he came back. Joe will attest to that because he saw him as well. He was not the same player that he was before he left.
I gotta tell you something, Gerald.
Okay, but I got a lot of flack. I'm just saying, John.
Listen.
Whole lot of flack in the past couple of weeks when I said that.
Okay, but listen, when you say this, the people that give you flack, okay, those people that give you flack for your statement of saying LeBron James is the best 39-year-old, Gerald, that's not even a question. Those people that give you flack, don't even give them your time of day. And I'm going to give you an example, okay?
I have to because they're in the comments.
No, but Gerald, you don't though.
No, I actually have to because if they do it after the video airs, it helps the algorithm. So
okay, but listen, because you're a hard worker and you are great for the channel, and you do that. But don't give people the time of the day. What?
I thought I ended this discussion by telling everyone he's the greatest ever.
Of course, he's the fucking greatest ever. Listen to me. Listen to me, though.
No, like in life, too.
Yeah. He just
so that we can go on.
Okay, go on. Listen. Gerald, don't give those people time of the day. Don't waste your time.
Dylan wants to know about Dallas. So he says, get off of LeBron. So, yeah, because LeBron.
I thought I did. I thought I said greatest human that ever existed.
No, but he wants to hear your thoughts on Dallas.
Let's talk about Dallas.
They're 5-6.
I at this point, something happened in that Celtics series that took their souls.
Yeah, it took a step back.
Whether they get it back or not is debatable on when.
They also lost Derrick Jones Jr. and they're hoping Najee Marshall can replace him, but he's not.
Seriously, Kyrie Irving turned into a pumpkin in that finals. He turned into James Harden circa 2012. I was in shock. He looked like he didn't know how to play basketball. It was so bad.
I know. That's bad.
I don't know what to tell you, man.
Not a single.
I don't think they're not going to make the playoffs, but geez.
I don't.
Jason Kidd, get your ass out of your head.
Well, the good news for the Lakers is that they are at least now in the positive. They do now have a positive point differential for the first time all season. Or actually not since the third game, I'm sorry. So yes, they are now at a plus .01.
Straight up. Yeah, show some love to what Malcolm said. Show some love to what Malcolm said. Straight up, Malcolm. Let him know.
What is your deal with this LeBron obsession? Who gives a shit?
What they say, LeSexuals.
LeBron sexuals, man. Relax.
LeBron sexuals. That shit is hilarious.
Oh, Hernan, that's nice. He thinks he's going to do a slow pork sandwich for Friday's game. Nice. Hernan, yeah, you always make good food from what I've seen in the chat. Keep it going. By the way, the Win Buffet was really good. Sorry. 8.5 out of 10 for me.
You guys ever had panettone bread?
Really? Did you have some earlier tonight?
No. I'm thinking of having some right now, but I'm asking if you've ever had some.
No, actually, we haven't. Sounds good. Was it from scratch or did you get it from a bakery?
I'm gonna show you right now.
Okay. All right.
I'm shocked after they. Well, let's see. Hold on. I am shocked after they signed Clay. They look not good. My Rockets had a better record. Joe, what's going on here, Dylan? Are you doing the verbal talk text on that one?
He's just happy that his Rockets are the 5th seed. I think he corrected. So.
Oh, Joe sips his drink like it's
We
gold.
just finished the conversation on the Rockets, Dylan. They have a great number of wings.
Yes, Jeremy, we're doing the nightcap. That's why I'm drinking my nightcap.
Yes.
Like Holly Walnuts.
A lot of young talent on that team, Dylan. 8-4, off to a good start. Can they parlay the good start into overall a good season like OKC did? They started off strong. Now they're still the young team. Ime Udoka has got them playing very well. But are they going to go ahead, Joe, and take that next step and start looking
Rockets need one more player to bounce them up.
Giannis?
Will he want to start over in Houston?
Oh, that might not be his choice. He doesn't have a no-trade clause.
Will they have to gut the Rockets to get him? Then
they'll gut the Rockets picks and players. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know if that's going to be feasible.
Whitmore hasn't been playing well to start the season, FYI.
No. Hopefully we'll be wrong in the future, but he still was a better pick than JHS.
Oh, I agree. Yes, that's a nightmare. That's a nightmare right now. And yes, JHS, the only reason why he will be traded is because of his $4 million trade fodder.
Let's look at Houston. Let's look at Houston's roster. Hold on. What would they have to give up to get Giannis? Let's see here.
That's a good question.
We know Sengun has to be in there, right?
Yes.
Although the Bucks have bigs, do they really need Sengun?
There you go. Oh, there you go.
You guys ever had this right here?
No, panettone bread. Okay.
Who are they going to? Who are they going to give Thompson up? Obviously, yes.
Change your life.
Reed Shepherd. So Reed Shepherd, Thompson, 5 first-round picks, maybe. Who?
They'd have to give up. I would say they give up Smith too.
Okay. Does Milwaukee do that trade? Obviously, Houston's going to do it. But then if you trade Sengun, what's the point?
No, they wouldn't want to trade Sengun.
I think Sengun stays because Houston's like, look, if we give you Sengun, our team's done.
Yeah. If they trade maybe Green.
Giannis is going to 2 places if he demands a trade: Oklahoma City or Golden State.
So you don't think a trade of Green, if they threw in Jabari Smith and Reed Shepherd, that wouldn't do for you? Plus picks?
Nope.
5 picks?
No.
Okay, I would do it for me. So
it's not good for Giannis. It's not just.
I'm not worried about Giannis.
Why the hell would Giannis want to go to Houston then? He's going to have a say in this.
He's got a no. He doesn't have a no trade clause.
Yeah, but that's not how it works. The teams accommodate.
All right.
And that resonates in the league.
But I don't see OKC doling out everything.
I could see OKC doing it if Preston decides, hey, I want to win a championship right now. Chet Holmgren being healthy with SGA with Giannis and Caruso.
Yeah, they could definitely do that. Definitely. Jeez. Joseph, come on, man.
Got your ass.
Joe, you're hilarious. Hang on.
We've been saying that for decades, but that guy made it famous.
Well, got your ass.
Shit resonates, man, when we don't even know it.
It would also have to be dependent on how good the
Giannis wants to win, Gerald. He's not going to go anywhere where he can't win right away.
Yeah.
And Milwaukee's not going to do him wrong.
I just don't think Presti will go all out like that.
He doesn't have to, but then again, Chet is
he's fragile.
Yeah.
He played 82 games last year, but look, he's already hurt again.
So, do you want Glass Joe dictating your championship aspirations?
Sheesh. Hold on. I just thought about that, boy. Giannis to the OKC. You
Yeah,
Oh my god, that's
that would
fucking
work.
crazy. That would work.
And
That-
Oklahoma City's got a
and hold on.
fantastic fan
And
base.
you, oh fuck, and they have a
Not
million.
fantastic. I'm talking
No,
Arnold.
you know what else they
fantastic.
have? They have a millions of picks to be able to throw their ways. And
By the way, well, hold on. I just wanted to mention to Hernan. No,
makes me
he's got a
happy.
contract that's like absolutely humongous. There's no way he's going to be leaving unless you're going to pay 60. Because remember, it's right around $60 million for Stephen Curry once that extension kicks in.
wait,
I
are
don't
we
believe
talking about?
Steph will ever not be in a Warrior uniform.
Hernan is
hold on.
asking if Curry would be jumping to LA.
No, I'm
it's not
talking.
possible.
Okay, I'm talking about Giannis because I ain't gonna lie. That's what I'm pushing for now. That will get Oklahoma. They will
The
become
hell
a
with
franchise.
Giannis and the hell with Oklahoma City. I'm talking about the Lakers here. What the hell are the
No.
Lakers going to do?
No, Joe.
And
fuck
by the
that.
way,
I'm trying to
Malcolm,
see that.
Chet is not way hard than AD. How many seasons has AD lost due to injury? 0. How many has Chet lost? His first season. And he's going to miss half this season because of his hip, because he's got no freaking meat on that body. And he looks like every time I see him play on the court, he looks like he just woke up.
Jeremy says, "What's in that glass?" He wasn't here at the start of your. I think you said Jack. Yeah,
Buddy Jack and Coke.
AD for Giannis.
Lateral move.
Yeah, the Lakers don't get any better with that move.
Yeah, but I would do, but I agree.
Again, the Lakers just don't have enough.
I trade LeBron for Giannis.
Fuck yeah.
I think we all.
A lot of people.
But yeah, this team is very. Remember LeBron has a no trade clause. He is one of the 2 players in the league that has a no trade clause.
Excuse me.
I thought the Joe was the one that was drinking.
I'm sorry. I've had a lot of water tonight.
No worries. But yes, Joe and Bradley Beal are officially the only ones who have a no trade clause out there. So Kernan says, Gerald, do you remember when Kareem came to LA? Very vaguely, because was it 76 when he was traded to 75? I would have been 6. So I wasn't watching KHJ when they did the trade for Brian Winters, that bevy of players, all to go to Milwaukee for Green. I started watching, I think 77, I think was my first games when I started watching. So
just want to say
I was negative 3 years old.
You know what? I probably wasn't even a fucking idea. So you know what's crazy, guys?
Hey,
no, I'm sorry. You know
he's
what?
Dropped like 4 F-bombs already.
No,
he's good.
You know what made me? Gerald saying that made me think. I appreciate both of you guys. I appreciate Joe and Gerald very much because honestly, I believe that age is just wisdom, and you guys let me hang around, and I believe I'm well older than my years because of what I've been through. I mean, my daughter was born when I was 20 years old. My life changed upside down, and had to figure it out. But what I like is I like being around y'all, and I appreciate that y'all let me be around here because it's crazy as you said that because you've been watching basketball for so fucking long. Like you've been watching basketball for longer than I've been alive, probably. That's insane to me. That's wild.
Jeremy said, "Thank you, John. You're most kind. We love having you here. We love the takes you have. We love the fact that you are willing to come on here or your own channel and have the strong takes.
I can't handle this positiveness. It's driving me nuts.
You're willing.
Shut the fuck up and be positive.
There you go. Thank you. But
can't do it.
You take whatever the chat or whatever comments dish out at you, and you're right back at them. That's what we love about you, man. That's what we
You know
love.
what's great about my job,
What's
Malcolm?
up, Joe?
I do whatever the fuck I want.
He's starting to go, everyone. He's starting to go. But he's not fully there yet. There was the
So when I
time
get
he
up in
got
the
there.
morning, I get up in the morning. That's it. That's how it rolls. That's how we roll.
Yeah, I'm going to say Thameless. I'm 55. I think I started watching around 8 on KHJ TV channel 9.
That's crazy.
And I love that theme song. Da-na-na-na, da-na-na-na. Oh, that was just a great theme song.
That's crazy to think about.
Yeah, when Chick Hearn would come on, it's Lakers basketball, sponsored by Taco Bell or something like that. And yeah, Jeremy says, thoughts on Gabe tonight? Absolutely horrible. I don't know why he is still in the rotation. It's that veteran thing that that we all hate out there. Is that he's that name? He's that veteran that's been in the league. He's got enough cachet that keeps him out there.
He has no cachet. He has ass shit.
So I understand. You and I see that, but again, that name, the fact that he's a veteran, respected among his peers.
If I was JJ Redick, you already set the precedent. Bring him into the offense and just ask him one simple question. What are you? What is this? How can you not make a shot over and over and over again? What happened to this guy?
Somebody put on the chat 3 for 24 from 3, I think. That's miserable.
How about 0 points? How about that? Forget about the 3 for 80. 0 points.
Who would you put in his place then to get his minutes? What do the Lakers have?
No one. What have we been talking about for the last 7 months?
That's the problem, guys.
You thought Gabe Vincent coming back healthy was going to help? Now, I didn't think he'd be this bad. I thought he'd go 2 for 8. This motherfucker's going 8 for 80. And then every other game he's going 0 for 14.
He's averaging 3 points on the season.
3 points. Guys, that's worse than... What the hell? This guy was balling for years and then turned into a tulip.
Yes, Weston. Bro, it's because of these fucking Miami Heat players. I'm sorry, Joe. I get going because...
No, you're all good, man. You're all
Weston
good.
learned. By the way, it's late night. This is prime
Joe's
time.
here. Joe's here anyways, John. So that don't have to apologize.
These Miami Heat players, they buy into the fucking system. The system makes them good because Eric Spoelstra was the best coach in the NBA. He puts you in positions to excel. You look at a great player. You go to other teams and you're fucked. You're fucked. You get Kendrick Nuns. You get Hassan Whitesides. You get Gabe Vincent's. You get freaking what's the dude? Max Struess's. Who's been all right, but ridiculous. I'm sorry, Joe. Say what you were saying.
No,
John, Joe. Which Lakers game did you like watching this season? So
we will answer a few more questions before we call it a night.
The Suns.
Tameless says his first finals was Walton versus Dr. J, and I put on there on the tape delay on CBS.
1977. Yes. The Sixers went up 2-0 in that series, and then shit the bed.
I will say I've met Brett Musburger in person. Nice guy, very low key, and just a pleasure to deal with. So.
And then poor Dr. J finally kind of breaks through a little bit in the 80s, and then Magic Johnson had to show his ass.
I still can't believe Musburger is still around doing stuff today. I think
salute to Brett Musburger.
Yeah.
One of the best supporting actor jobs in Rocky.
There you go. But to answer the question, John, which game have you enjoyed the most? I say for me this one because it helps solidify what I've believed in Dalton Connect all this time, what I've said about Dalton Connect. But which game have you enjoyed the most so far this season?
I would say that game when we came back from with the Suns, I think it was like that 6-point comeback or something like that.
Mhm.
That was pretty enjoyable game.
The vintage LeBron game again, that fourth quarter, vintage LeBron fourth quarter. That was against Sacramento. That was a great game to watch. Joe, which game have you enjoyed the most?
Sacramento.
Sacramento, yeah.
Because it was unexpected, and they started 3-0. I was like, yes. 3 home games, 3-0. And then they did it again tonight. Last 3 games at home, 3-0. That's a good thing. And you can win your home games. That's how it's supposed to be done. But the problem is they're not playing these teams at full tilt. So you can't really gauge anything yet, except bringing in negativity when they are going to play a fully healthy team down the road. At some point, a lot of these teams are going to be at full strength. Now what? So I got to wait and drink more.
Hernan, all I know is when Gabe was playing with Miami, he used to be a very streaky shooter. I'm hoping that he'll get on a hot streak pretty soon because the Lakers sure as hell need it. Because, if you're going to depend on Dalton Connect as a rookie to do what he did tonight every single game, that's a lot on the kid. And I think that's asking way too much of the kid because even I don't have those expectations every time out that this kid can do tonight, every night going forward until he gets more seasoned and gets more time under his belt.
So with that.
Oh, well, last thing by Jeremy, because I don't want to, I know Jeremy, we give much love to our Australian friends out there. 0 for Max Christie DMP. Thoughts on that, guys?
I have 0 thoughts on Max Christie, and I would prefer to have 0 thoughts for the future of Max Christie.
I say it's well earned.
Max Christie has maxed out his talents or lack thereof.
Get him the fuck out of here.
Time to get out. Time to go away and go get a fucking haircut.
He had his chance. He had his opportunity. You reap what you sow. He'll probably, it's by either injury or lack of productivity, get another up again to prove himself. And I don't know if he'll ever will on the Lakers.
Stop cutting y'all hair like alpacas. Seriously. You look ridiculous. You guys are going to hate yourselves in 10 years, especially 20 years from now. You're going to look back at your high school pictures and your early 20s pictures, and you guys are going to look like a bunch of dildos with a wig on.
Dildos.
Although I bet John likes his high school senior picture.
Yeah.
Well, don't bring it out. I'm just saying. I bet you look at it.
I'm trying. No, I don't. I can't bring it out. But I'm trying to think if I had long hair or short hair because I remember my mom had told me the same thing because I think it was like I had like a little
about you having alpaca hair.
No, she talked because I used to have like really long hair. Well, not really long hair, but like a little bit like a mini afro when I was in like my sophomore and junior year of high school. And I took some pictures and my mom told me the same thing you said, Joe. She said, 20 years down the line, you're going to look back at this and you're going to think you're retarded. And I was like, you know what?
So a story about entering freshman year in high school.
Okay.
When you start growing facial hair as a kid, it's a badge of maturity.
Mm-hmm.
But God, I think, teleported that message to me and one of my other boys, but it didn't resonate to the other 3 that I had hung out with. And for some weird reason, he and one of my guys said, let's cut this out. Let's not be the typical Middle Eastern guys with a freaking peach fuzz mustache. We shaved it. Our other friends didn't. The other one was an Armenian too. He wasn't so, different, nationality. But those clowns kept their mustaches throughout high school. Now, every time you look at the high school pictures, they all look like they have pubes under their noses. And then when you look at guys like me and my other boy who decided to cut it, we look like I look now, except a little younger.
There you go. With the pinky up.
Always think of the future, folks.
And that's
you want to look good in every era in your life.
And that's how you
I had a little bit longer hair, maybe a little bit more wavy. I mean, I could still grow that out, but I prefer short hair because I have shit to do. So I'm just saying, you know, the whole point of, and you notice I don't have any jewelry. I used to wear jewelry. I was a big gold guy. Had a necklace, cross, bracelet. Sometimes I'd wear a pinky ring, and then I'd have a watch. And then one day I'm sitting there taking this shit off to go to bed or take a shower. I think it was one of those two. And I'm saying, like, what the fuck am I doing with my life? Every fucking night I'm doing this for like 2 minutes and then putting it back on in the morning. You smarten up usually when you get older. You mature usually when you get older. I mean, the maturing part took a little bit longer though. So yeah. Joe, was you drink a lot in high school? No, I didn't. My first real drink was in Puerto Vallarta when I was 17 on a family trip. I drank 8 shots of tequila. Got fucked up.
Where's Crypt?
And it was awesome. So I'm in Puerto Vallarta. I ended up, because I used to live in the Central Valley of California. I met some guys from Sacramento in Puerto Vallarta, and we hung out. I remember I told my dad, I go, hey, Dad, I just ran into a couple of guys from Sacramento. He's like, oh, that's great. You know, you're hanging out, having fun. They were great. So I hung out with them, drank a lot. And I remember walking, I was like, oh, this is what it feels like to be drunk. Ended up making out with a really hot blonde, too, in the elevator. She worked there, I guess, and American, like 100%. So yeah, that was my Mexico trip, having my first drunken stupor. Salute to the blondie and salute to my friends from Sacramento. I never saw them again after that.
Joe is faded. He said salute to a blondie.
Anyways, I wanted to tell everyone. No, she was hot. No. I don't have.
Gerald, you gotta end this. Joe's
No. I'm prime steak eater. I don't eat the steak at Applebee's. I never did. I'm about quality, not quantity. Oh, 100%, 110% if I'm, using the cliches. So anyways, I think we've had a pretty eventful evening tonight with the nightcap. I think you guys got a little bit more than I thought you guys would receive. But Lakers win tonight, and we're very happy and very excited for hopefully future wins. Hopefully Rob can get off his stupid ass and maybe bring something to the table a little bit. But until then, I want to thank John for being here, Gerald for being here, all of you for being here. We had a big crowd tonight from beginning to end. We thank you for being here. Thank you for having fun with us. And we look forward to a Friday of winning this, hopefully in San Antonio. And until then, what's my tagline? Until next time, we'll see you next time.
We're still not ending. YouTube likes